What's up, everyone? We have this Kohler pressure washer here. It is a 2600 psi 2.4 gallon per minute pressure washer, and it is don't know anything about it. All I know is we have suspicious repair, and then we have some ventilation mods, let's call it that, and this. And in addition to that, the pump is missing an important piece. So I have another pump I bought in a set because they were on sale. So I'm hoping that fits. The shaft I haven't measured yet. If it doesn't, then I'm not going to buy a new one. At least not yet. But I want to see if this engine's running. The wand appears to be in pretty good condition. Same thing with the hose. There might be a little bit of wear through, but as long as it doesn't leak, it should be fine. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. We need to figure out what's going on with this motor. I'm going to take off this tape and see what's going on there. I'm assuming the line broke and they just taped it together because they don't know what a knot is. The amount of time it took to gather not one but two different types of tape to tape this up probably would have been the same amount of time as it would have been to just do it right. Well, look what they did. They just like wrapped the cord around it. That's just splendid. I hope this is a different line. It kind of feels like it is. Because if not, then they used all their line and their recoil for it. I'm pretty sure it is. You know, they could have just taken it off and put this line, which seems like it's about 5 times too long. I see what they did. They used it to tie because the actual handle broke. Wow. A trip to Walmart would have solved that problem. Because obviously, unless they had this line just chilling in a drawer somewhere, they probably went to the store. This isn't cheap either. In fact, I think it probably would have been more expensive to use this method than it would be just to go and buy a handle. Not a fan of these motors. Of course, this is a primer, so that's better than the auto. I'm really interested in see why they did this. Nothing's happening. Looking down here, what you should see is a brass tube sticking up, and when you press that, fuel shoots up there and it's supposed to prime it. Let's take this off. So this is their thought process. So you're trying to pressurize the bowl. There's a little hole here, but you can't really do too much because it's sealed with this plastic. So I'm sure when you try to do anything with this, it just wasn't doing much of anything to begin with. And then it couldn't even go back out because it was sealed. So that was super intelligent. I don't think I have another one of those, unfortunately. The last thing you want to do is just quit before you realize everything that's needed. So we're not going to do that. We're going to continue on. The motor has compression. So I'm fairly confident it will run after some work. But what I don't want to do is buy the wrong primer. That would be unfortunate. Okay. So, we have a couple things wrong here. One, the fuel hose is completely snapped off, which explains why there's no fuel in the fuel tank. That would make sense. And this itself looks fine. I don't know if we need to just twist this out. It looks like probably that's all it's needed. It's in there. I'm going to use a pair of pliers so I don't put any stress on that stem. Unfortunately, I was hoping this piece would come out and this would open, but it doesn't look like it does. It looks like it's all one solid piece. So this whole thing is the primer. Now, we could just try to find this. This is the part that is cracked. So I'm going to see how much this is. If it's not all that much, oh man, that'd be a giant pain though. There's like a little lip in there. Don't know if you can see or not, but on here, is there a part number? 1408105. I'm gonna type that in and see what it comes up with, but I don't think that would be it. When I looked up the model number, it's bad news. Yeah, this whole piece is like 30 bucks. So I'm like, is there really no way of taking this apart? Because that just seems steep to me, you know? Especially since you can buy this only. And while I'm not going to enjoy doing it, I think I'm just going to buy a couple of these and continue on. So that's annoying. Unfortunately, it's getting kind of late in the day, and I need parts, so I'm going to buy a new handle, because I have some, but they're not the right type. I'd rather just buy the right one, or at least one that's better. Probably won't even buy the right one, just one that I like, and then we will come back to this. So I don't 100% know if the carb is bad. I'm sure it is, but let's try this. That's where that's supposed to go. Put a new bulb on it. See if it spews. No, but I also don't know if there's any fuel. And that's bone dry, so. Oh, yes, of course it is. The fuel line is broken. Okay, so the only thing I did is I end up taking one of the just normal primer bulbs, taking it out of its little housing, shoving it in there, and I can actually feel air when I try to feel it from right there. So it should be good. Well, it's late right now. I think I'm going to postpone this until tomorrow, but for you it will be instant. So after I put the primer back on, let's see about this handle. I need to take the cover off. It's actually been, I don't even know how long, a few days since this has even started. Come on. That's what happens when you can't see the head. Oh, now the screw is just spinning. Now I know why they opted. I feel like there's like a clamp or something here. Come on. Don't be like this. All these are a little bit weird. Is there like a hidden screw somewhere? Oh, there we go. Yeah, there was a clamp, which means there's probably one over here, or the screw I can't get out is holding it in. I think it's probably that. Put a little pressure on it. And that screw is definitely giving me a problem. Let me work on that. Got that nonsense off. Now, a couple 10 millimeters. I'm probably going to clean the carb, except I'm not going to show it because I have a dozen carb cleaning videos on this style of carb alone. And yeah, so there's hidden bolts up front here, which are completely a different size, because why would you keep it the same size? That's just crazy talk. Oh, engineers and their ideas of needing 50 different style of bolts, and how hard would it have been just to have a 10 millimeter right there, you know? I very well might not even clean the carb. I very well might just, because the fuel line's broken, maybe the carb is fine. But, you know, I just realized I had no need to take off that cover. I don't even know why I was doing that. Because this... Okay, sorry. This is a Friday evening. I'm tired. Well, let's get to work on this. I bought this little cheap kit on Amazon. I think it was like $5. It came with a handle and a bunch of line. Actually, it came with 3 handles. We don't need all 3. I only have 1 hand, so let's put these 2 away for future projects. Handles are one of those things that if I do have a trash machine, I usually try to cut it off because they're useful because of situations such as the one we're in. I mean, handles do break on occasion, as we saw. And whoever wrapped this line did an amazing job. If your goal was to make it as aggravating as possible, you succeeded. Okay, so I want roughly 7 feet. That is about right there. So I'll take this jumbled mess and cut the line that I need off. Now, because we cut this end, we're going to use that one on the handle. There we go. Now for this, it's probably not going to be nearly as easy. There's usually holes or something to hold it in place. There's nothing like that on this one. So I have to keep my hand on this mechanism. Otherwise, it's going to try to roll. Now the other end has a factory sealed end, which is the one we want. This is not going to be fun. Might Oh, might have something happening here. We do. Nah, no, don't do that. Bare needle nose. Whew, hand started to cramp up there. Okay. It's a little too big for my liking. Doing this with 1.5 hands is not fun. Okay, we're just going to do one and through. There we go. That can be squished into there. We don't want that just kind of chilling. So we may need to either shorten the line that we did, because technically that amount is perfect for a lawnmower. Sometimes it's good for stuff like this, but it's getting kind of bound up in there. That's not good. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this out. Okay. And we were a little wasteful, but it's okay. There's only like 2 feet, 1.5 feet of line, and I can use that for something else anyway. So that should be good. I'm going to reattach it, and then I might show you the carb. I'm not sure yet. Carburetor's 101. If you have one and you think you don't have to clean it, that is the carburetor that you will need to clean at the end of it. But if you have a carburetor that you think you should clean, and then you go through the process of said cleaning, you never really needed to. It probably would be completely perfect inside. So either way, you're wasting time. So when you have a carburetor, just expect a certain amount of your day wasted. And don't worry, that goes for other types of engines or types of fuel delivery too. So let's take this out. And I think we're just going to look inside the bowl and take it from there, because if it's clean inside, then we can just blow through it real quick, dry it off if there's anything inside. If it's dirty, we'll do a full cleaning. There was fuel inside there. Kind of looks like there was water too. Oh, yep, there was water. You could tell because it looks like there's bubbles on top of everything. That's the water. It doesn't mix well with the fuel. It just kind of sits on top of it. So let's see here. The jet actually looks pretty clean, but we'll take it out and look at it just in case. And while we're here, we'll do the same for the emulsion tube. Yeah, it was clean. I think the problem was just that I had water in it and the fuel line was, snapped off. That's usually a good indication of a problem. So I'm going to go ahead, get this dried off, put it back on exactly the same way you saw, put a new fuel line in there. If you don't know how to replace a fuel line, well, I would really look back at your mechanical skills. But to make it easy on yourself, just take your old one and cut a new one the same length, and that's how long you need to make it. Pretty simple. So let me tell you something about small engines and when people put them on the side of the street for free. Some places, mine's not included because, well, I live in the middle of nowhere, will take them for free as recycling. Or you could take them to a recycling location. I have that option. I don't really use it because, well, I'm sure it's pretty self-explanatory. But more importantly is you have to remove the fluids, which kind of makes me want to think why it had no fuel. I don't like that. I think this is actually used oil. But anyway, it doesn't have any oil, so we definitely don't want to use it without any oil. Point being is when you are, here we go, here's 1030. When you are looking for, or when you're looking at these machines, always double check the oil. You should always be double checking the oil, don't get me wrong, but especially on machines you see on the side of the road. I didn't put a whole lot of fuel in there, but yeah, we don't need to pressure wash the whole driveway, we just need to see if it runs. One, two, three. Give it a couple extra for good luck. It runs. Obviously, a little smoky. Probably hasn't ran for a while. That's pretty normal. And I'm sure if we let it run for a little longer, it'll probably be fine. It's one of the reasons why I think that is there's smoke still coming out of the muffler, which usually means burning some oil in the muffler. So let's look at that pump. Okay, it's actually the next day. I end up putting the pump on. I have videos on how to install a pump, so it's not that hard. Go ahead and check that out. But the pump is on and everything appears to be running. I ran it for about 12-15 minutes and the smoking has completely stopped. So the smoke was just oil, excess oil being burned from the muffler. Not too much of a problem. What do we have in here? We have technically I think I paid $6-7 for a pack of 4 of these. 50 cents worth of line. Even if we do the whole thing, that's still $7.50. And what oil? Let's call it 8. The wand is the extra one I have, and I can count that. The other one was broken, but I got this one for free anyway, so it's not going to be that much of a worry to me. And the pump, which was $60 on sale. So I have about, let's round it up to about $70 worth of material in this, and I can probably sell for a good $140. So it's not that bad. If you are in the market for finding a cheap free pressure washer, don't be discouraged in the fact that it has a broken pump, because that's how this was given away, because the pump was broken. No one wanted to do anything. Flipping it, that sometimes can be hard with a broken pump, but even when you do, it's not that hard. And if you can spend $70, make $70, probably takes like an hour for everything that we've done. $70 an hour in your garage on the weekend. That's not all that bad at all. I'm gonna go ahead and leave you at that. Follow me on Instagram at smallengine101. If you like what you see, put a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. If you have any questions about anything, definitely feel free to leave a comment below. If you need any personalized help or service, definitely consider becoming a member. That is a perk of membership. So I'm going to put that fuel line clip on a little better because apparently I forgot to put it on the top. But other than that, this thing is finished. I'll see you in the next one. Have a good night.